Doesn't that make you feel good when they switch aircrafts? You're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta be happy that they're not using the one.
Yeah, I know, it's hard to complain either way.
We were flying out of Utah one time. And just a hell of a noise when we landed. They were trying to get the plane fixed, but continue on to Calgary. And we waited a couple of hours, and then finally, we're going to be delayed again. The pilot refuses to fly this plane. I said, he's refusing to fly this plane. I'm with him.
Yeah,
You're live?
okay. I'll call the regular council meeting Monday, December 8th to order. Is there any introduction of late items?
No, the oath of office first.
Okay,
Sorry,
we do that right now.
right now.
Okay, we'll do the oath of office for Cynthia White. So you'll have to read it, Cynthia. You're on mute.
Uh-oh.
Hang on, it's working. There we go. Is that better? Okay. All right. So oath of office. I, Cynthia White, having been appointed Chief Administrative Officer for the Village of Canal Flats, do hereby promise and swear, A, I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, execute the powers, duties, and functions of my office. B, I will treat all matters and information that comes to my attention as a result of my office in confidence. C, I have not received nor will I receive or accept any payment or reward or promise of either in return for the exercise of my powers, duties, and functions other than as permitted by the municipality. D, I will not allow my personal interests to conflict with the duties of my office. And E, I will comply with all policies and directives of the municipality and comply with all laws.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I think Sylvie just wanted to do that right. Sylvie wanted to do that right away so that she could just hand the meeting questions over to me.
Okay. Any introduction of late items?
We have to remove the presentation from the hospice. They have rescheduled to February 9th.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a mover or seconder to, oh, go ahead.
I'd like to introduce a late item regarding budget. A discussion on budget scheduling and review by this council, and when we are going to do that. I sent a notice in to Sylvie this afternoon and all emails to all of you. I just want to see if we can get this budget process started so that we're not late and that we have some input into what is actually being done.
Okay, I appreciate that, but we are looking at doing the budget when Cynthia's out in January. So we have more time and a lot more information brought to us so that we can have a more wholesome talk on it. We have discussed it before, and I think that's where we were at.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wasn't aware that we were changing I thought it was like we were gonna have a committee of the whole today as well. I didn't realize we were adjusting that.
Yeah, well, we adjusted it when Cynthia said she couldn't make it until January.
Yeah.
So that's why we adjusted it. But everybody was here at the table, so I just.
Sorry, it must be just escaping me.
Okay, go ahead.
It would have been nice to receive a notice that the committee of the whole was scheduled to be canceled. I read it in the newsletter, not any kind of a notice from us here at the office.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we mentioned it. I mentioned it. That we would be postponing the staff presentations, which was what was supposed to happen today. Postponed it until Cynthia could be in attendance. So January 9th is when she'll be in. That could be when we do it, or it could be at a later date. And she would like to meet staff before make a presentation. And if I can direct it,
yep.
Mayor Doherty, to Miss White, and maybe she can speak to it.
Yes, thank you. And I do think it's, I apologize if you didn't feel like you had sufficient notice or there was no notice. I think sometimes when we do these things verbally, it can get lost in people's agendas. Yeah, the idea is that I have a few questions that I would like the staff to be able to answer for me, and some things that I think I would like to bring forward because I do think the municipality is experiencing some risk, and it needs to be addressed, maybe not wholly in this budget cycle, but over the next couple of years, there's going to be some significant discussions about financial risk and infrastructure risk that the municipality is facing. But I want to have a more fulsome picture of that from the staff. So we're starting meetings, I think, on Wednesday, to talk about budget.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, does that answer everybody's question?
Did you say Wednesday?
Yeah, staff starting on Wednesday.
Wednesday, where?
She's gonna be talking to staff on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
So I did respond to your email today, Councillor. Just, I think it's important that we give CAO White an opportunity to meet with staff and to have a little discussion with staff before she tries to come and answer our questions, because it would be nice to have a little more than a weekend so that she can give us a fair response, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate the comment. My hope was to put some effort and some dates around when we might meet. The next council meeting is in the middle of January 12th, I believe. Then you're going to start scheduling from that date. It's imperative to get the basics of what we're looking for and want to do with our budget. And I don't think you can do it in a 2-hour committee of the whole meeting. I don't think you can do it as an item on budget. So your council meeting, I'd like to see a day dedicated to put some priorities in the budget that are ours. We can understand and we can hear from Cynthia as well. But we have to get some scheduling going so that we know that this budget is not going to be 3 days before the May deadline.
Yeah, I'm working with Sylvie to put together a schedule so that we do have more time to work on it. So it will be coming up in the next meeting. We will be talking about that as well. But when we talked to Cynthia, that was when she's coming out is in January, and that will give us some time to talk to her as well, as so she can talk to staff, and then we will have our meeting with her.
Yeah, so on January 12th, we'll do an initial meeting, if I may say, with some discussion with the staff presenting to you. But ultimately, you're correct, Councillor. There has to be a concerted effort. It's a relatively short number of lines in the budget. However, again, like I said, there are some significant things that need to be discussed and considered and put into the public discourse around, the lack of funding for infrastructure repair and replacement, and the lack of reserves in general, in particular. And so, we're going to definitely have to do some pretty, maybe schedule a few additional meetings if possible, depending on your schedules. And then we still have to find a time to have a positive, some form of engagement. Not just here's the budget, let's talk about it, but with the community.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Mayor Doherty, is it fair to say then that the committee, the whole meeting for this would be January the 12th then?
Is it, or was it?
The first one.
It would be the 12th, but I'm not sure. I'd have to confirm it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk with CAO White, and we will schedule a meeting so that we can all be at it.
Okay.
Okay, anything further? All in favor?
Oh, I need to.
Oh, mover and second, sorry. Counselor Whitesell, Counselor Stanberry. And it was all in favor.
Thank you. The first item is adoption of minutes, that the minutes from the regular council meeting held November 24th, 2025 be adopted.
Okay, I got a mover and a seconder. Counselor Reid and Counselor Stanberry. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried.
We'll skip over the presentation, and the next item is the call for AKBLG resolutions for 2026, that the letter from AKBLG regarding submissions for resolutions for the 2026 AKBLG convention be received for information, and that council authorize staff to prepare the following resolutions for approval.
Okay, I got a mover and a seconder. Counselor Stanberry and Counselor Whitesell. Any discussion? Is there any resolutions? Go ahead.
So I do have something that I'm kind of working on, healthcare wise, I'd like to bring forward. I'd like to email that out, I guess, when I have a little more detail,
Okay,
and then we can bring it back for.
okay. Anybody else? No? Okay,
If I may.
yeah, go ahead.
For clarity, so healthcare, more detail.
So regarding, care hours and complex K.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Or, can I get all in favor? Carried.
The community enhancement report, that the community enhancement officer report for the month of October 2025 be received for information.
Can I get a mover and a seconder? Counselor Stanberry and Counselor Reid. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried.
The external funding tracker, that the external funding tracker to December 8th, 2025 be received for information.
Can I get a mover and a seconder? Counselor Whitesell and Counselor Stanberry. Any discussion? Counselor Whitesell.
One column, by the way, I love that the tracker now is tied. Like I can see it's clearly tied to actual line items from our community plan, as well as into line items within the budget. One column, I think that, and again, we realize things as we see things more and more on it. One column I think that would be very helpful on this tracker is how much have we received year to date, if any at all.
Oh, okay.
Just having something to say, have we received the money for this? Is it sitting in our coffers right now? Or is it hanging out, waiting for a deadline? Is it waiting for an approval? What is it waiting on? Why don't we have the money yet?
I'm gonna take two.
If I may.
Seal.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Doherty, through to Councillor Whitesell. That's a lot of extra work. This is all populated. Well, it's just because all of it is manual labor. So we already have to put it in the file. We already have to put it in the system, into the accounting system. Then we have to put it online on our online system because of course they're not amalgamated. And then this would have to be another step. This is strictly, the reason this was brought up was, or created, was just to keep track of all the projects we have, because we always have a lot of projects on the go and where they are. Did we apply for it? Was it successful? Is it finished? Done. Knowing that information, can I ask what the reasoning would be for?
Because we should know when we have actually received the funds, and it tells council whether or not the spending needs to commence or continue, or where we're at. And I'm not asking for a detailed list of expenditures related to it, but if we receive the money, I would then expect as a councillor to see how we are making progress, or be able to ask more questions about how we are making progress on a project. But if we haven't received the funds yet, then we don't know, or we don't, there's no.
We just assume that we have it.
That's right.
Mr. Mayor, if I could.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, definitely 95% of the time, most of our funding is reimbursement at the end of the season. So we can indicate probably if we're expecting it to be reimbursement, very, very little of it comes in pre-activity. So we can, if that's an unusual thing, maybe we can make a note of that we're getting it pre-project, but anything from UBCM, anything from the province, anything from the federal government is reimbursement. So we have to submit our reports minimum annually, sometimes they're every 6 months for those projects. And then we'd be reimbursed on those.
Generally, and I'm not trying to contradict at all with that, but from agreements that I've also done within the province, you'll usually get a percentage of those funds up front, and then you submit your deliverable, and then you receive the remainder of your funds. Is that not
No.
consistent?
No, unfortunately it's not. So we have to have some of these projects, we have to think about having funds in the bank to even start them. They will give us reimbursement at those report milestones. So let's say we do an annual report and we've completed 50% of the project, we will generally see some reimbursement at that point. And then final reporting will get a final bit of the final end of reimbursement, but we generally don't get funds up front. Sometimes UBCM might give you like a quarter of it up front, but the province and the feds don't generally give us anything up front. Even the gas tax, we don't really get up front.
Right, if I can add to that too, and alternatively, CBT, so you might not be familiar with CBT funding, they do give us 80% of the funding. So it really won't give you a good picture, because if some do and some don't, and some give you a quarter, it really isn't, it isn't valuable information. There'd be a lot of, well, are these in advance or not? So they all run the gamut. So some pay in advance, some don't, some pay quarterly, some based on reporting. It's all.
So yeah, I can see where your concern is. It would be nice to be able to see all that, to know whether or not the project is going ahead. We know if it's going ahead, then we're going to be reimbursed at the end. But that's difficult to say whether the money's there or not now.
I know that I'm always asked, where are we at? Have we received these funds yet? Because that will generally tell us where we are at within the project. And if we're at 50%, we're getting reimbursed at the 50% point, then it tells me that we are at 50% of that project. And that's the kind of key information I think that council wants to know, because right now we have a spreadsheet of projects and I have no idea where we are at in the stage of completion for any of them.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's important to think about, and I think Sylvia and I talked about this last week, is that the grant sheet is great, but that doesn't include all of our capital projects necessarily. So what we should be doing is, with our capital plan, we should be coming back and saying, this capital project was initiated this year, we're 50% done this year, we've received some reimbursement, or we've spent this much money. So instead of it being the projects necessarily, the reporting on the projects being related to the grant list, we will create a report on capital projects going forward. So you'll see we're 75% done this capital project, we haven't been able to start this capital project, perhaps because we didn't get funding for it, right? So that gives you a better sense of where we are with capital projects and when we're starting to get reimbursements.
Yeah, because I think most of the things on this tracker are for capital. Most things are.
Yes.
So,
But not all
yeah,
of our capital will necessarily be grant funded.
Yeah. So yeah, if we could do that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
No, it's all actually. Okay, thank you. Anything further? All in favor? Carried.
Revenue anticipation borrowing bylaw, that Village of Canal Flats revenue anticipation borrowing bylaw number 291, 2025 be adopted.
Can I get a mover and seconder? Councillor Whitesell and Councillor Stanbury. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Water system regulations, that Village of Canal Flats water system regulations bylaw number 289, 2025 be adopted.
Can I get a mover and seconder? Councillor Whitesell and Councillor Reid. Any discussion? Go ahead. Councilor.
Just without going through line by line, has anything changed between the last council? No, they go the same.
Go ahead.
If I may, just the first preamble about the gender and stuff. I
Okay.
just did that editorial
Thank you,
change and that's it.
thank you.
Okay. All in favor? Carried.
Sewer system regulations, that Village of Norfolk sewer system regulations bylaw number 290/2025 be adopted.
Can I get a mover and seconder? Councilor Stanberry and Councilor Marcel. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. And can I get a mover and seconder to adjourn? Councilor Roitzel and Councilor Reed, all in favor? Carried. We are adjourned.
Just a moment, we're still live.
Right there, Sylvie, you just gotta where it says stop live stream.
Where do you see that?
Move your dial.
Oh, right.